I'd say it all started December 2014. Me and my partner David, we got engaged on the 14th of December. Been together 10 years, so I never really thought it'd happen. So it was on a total sky high. Was due to go for my 20-week scan the following day, and when we went in, I was so excited. I was like showing off my ring and everything, and 5 minutes later, I think our world just shattered. We were told that our little boy had Spina Bifida, but it was severe. The part of his brain hadn't developed for him to breathe, or there was no way he was going to survive. So we went through Edinburgh, got a second opinion. They confirmed it. And basically we were given like 24 hours, to make a decision of what we wanted to do. So I think it was really like the longest 24 hours like ever. Researched everything, and again, when you're looking for something, there's nothing that jumps out at you. There's nothing, available that's helpful. So we made like probably a horrible decision to, end the pregnancy, because it wasn't going to, he wasn't going to survive. And I think in my head, like I really thought that I was causing him more damage, by like carrying on. So I think that was the Tuesday. By the Thursday we were in the hospital in St John's, and they were lovely. We got a midwife, Emma. She was just absolutely fantastic. Stayed with us from start to finish. But again, I don't think anything prepares you for nobody explains it properly or tells you, in my head, I just couldn't understand how I was going to get my baby out. Like nobody told me I'd be going into labour or anything. So when that happened, it was just surreal, and I found it cruel. We were there all day, and I thought, at the end of it, we didn't know what was going to happen. And when he was born, his heart was still beating, and they told us there was a small chance that would happen. But again, you don't expect you to be one of them. So his heart beat for an hour and a half. So he was registered born. And it was just, so at that point you went into hospital, believing that you were going to have a baby, but I don't know what you were expecting. I didn't expect like a baby. I know it sounds stupid, but I don't know. And he was just perfect. He had like perfect fingers, perfect toes, tiny, but looked like my other boys so much. I don't know what I was expecting, but he didn't look ill. He didn't look, like there was anything wrong. And again, it was just one thing after another. Sat with him for a while, and then, we were told we would have to prepare like the funeral, or they could do it, but it was, we had to do that. That was, our wee goodbye. But no, it just seemed like it was a never-ending, I wouldn't say ordeal, but each stage you thought you were getting by, and it just added another bit and another bit. And because it was over Christmas, it was 3 weeks before we were allowed, at the funeral, before we could get it booked in and anything. And I thought once the funeral and that's been, I think that gives you a focus up until then. And the funeral was the 8th of January, and I went back to work on the 9th. I thought that was my way, getting back to normality. I just needed a bit of normality in my life. And it wasn't. I came down with a third, and that's when I did contact SANS, because I'd got all the leaflets and that, and I thought, no, I'm fine. And no, no, I don't think anything ever really prepares you for the emotions, and then just speaking to somebody else and knowing that you're maybe not going crazy, that, you know, everything that you're feeling is normal. And nobody actually tells you that grief's not just like emotional, I felt it like physically, you know, like I don't know, my heart was empty, you know, my whole body ached from head to toe. I just, you know, it was hard. And we've got a 9-year-old as well, Lewis, and trying to break that news, you know, that mummy's not got a baby in her tummy anymore, and that, you know, your baby brother William's away up in heaven, and, you know, it's, how do you explain that to a child that thinks that the world's perfect? And, you know, how do you explain to him that you've had to make that choice? And how do you know that's the right choice? And then, you know, we went for counselling with Jenny, and she was amazing. Like both me and Davey just, you know, he's like, I don't need it, I'm just going for you, but it done him the world of good. You know, he was able to talk, and, you know, it was like hour, even though it was only like an hour a week or an hour a fortnight, it was just hour to talk about William without, when you're talking to other people, it's, you know, they're listening, but, you know, you can see that awkward look on their face. You know, you can see that nervousness, or, you know, like some people just like they'll walk the opposite way, just, you know, just to not feel uncomfortable, which is fine. I totally understand it. But, you know, it's just, you know, acknowledge the situation. And I think with miscarriages and stillbirths and everything, it's such a taboo subject, and nobody wants to speak about it, and, you know, nobody wants to highlight it, like apart like for Sands and us that have been through it. But other people, you know, it's so common, you know, the amount of friends and that I know that it's went through, but still nobody's, you know, you want to shout out, you know, I've had another baby, you know, he died, you know, acknowledge him. But people tend to not like the posts, or, you know, not acknowledge the fact, or just ignore it, you know. But like, we've lost family, we've lost friends and that through all of this. Just, I wouldn't say ignorance, but probably they just don't know what to do. But even say something daft, or, you know, then ignore the situation. It's just horrible. And I don't know, I think you think like 2 years down the line, I'm now 2 years down the line, and I'd say the second year's worse than the first year, because you've still got the first milestones and it's probably fresh in everybody's heads. But the second year, everybody does forget, and they think now that I've had Charlie, that everything's fine, you know. And it's not, because I've now got that battle. Because when William was born, he was 21 weeks at that point, I fell pregnant quite fast with Charlie. So if what happened with William didn't happen, I wouldn't have Charlie. So when I'm feeling happy about that, I feel guilty. So it's the conflicting, you know, it's all conflicting, and it's hard. And I want to enjoy it like I do, and enjoy like motherhood. I love it, but I've got 3 boys, not 2 boys, and everybody just, you know, oh, you've got 2 lovely boys and that. It's like, no, I've got 3, and you want to shout at them. And then like starting a new job, I started a new job, and everybody at you, oh, how many kids you got? And it's one of the horrible situations that I don't know yous. I don't want to go into my story, but I feel so guilty if I say I've got 2 boys, because I don't really want to explain my life when I don't know yous. But when you say 3 and you say like one's died, it's, you know, that awkward situation that, you know, just nobody wants to acknowledge. And I've signed up for the half marathon this year. We've done the half marathon last year, but I signed up for it on a whim, thinking, you know, a half marathon's nothing. It was a struggle. It was good. I didn't really train for it, but like we'll do it again this year. I'm going to run for my baby boy William that died and raise money for SANS that have helped us. But it's a fantastic opportunity. You meet loads of great people around the track. I'd say all fitness levels really. I would say train because that's what everybody says, but I didn't, and I done it and I completed it, and it's one of the best achievements I've done. So yeah, sign up.